Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Village of Mamaroneck Board of Architectural Review meeting of May 19th, 2022. Obviously, we're still doing a virtual meeting today, which had some complications to things. So I'll ask that when the presenters are on deck, if you could, make sure you have everything together and you're ready to share your screen. And also I'd ask that everybody who is a party of the presenter, whether or not they plan to speak or not, also sign on, so that in the event they do feel that they want to comment, that they're able to do so. We've had issues in the past where somebody who's part of the owner or part of the presenter or something wants to talk and they're not on and we can't get them on, and then they say, well, you didn't listen to my comment and we couldn't, so please be ready to sign on. And this makes things go a lot smoother, and it will assure that we can accommodate any comments that you may have. If there are members of the audience who have questions or comments, we certainly welcome and entertain those. Please make yourself known by raising your hand. And I'll try to remember at the end of each presentation to ask if there's any comments, or if any of the other board members remember. If I should forget, we'll try to accommodate any questions there may be. We don't have the full board here tonight. One person couldn't make it, but we do have a quorum. There's 4 of us here. You would need a majority of us to pass, which would be 3 people. If you don't think those odds are good, you're welcome to reschedule and come back at a later date without any prejudice to your application. That said, I think we can, I wanted to introduce the board members. We have Andrew Wolowitz, Yvonne Levine, Larry Cohen, and myself. I'm William Binzer. Okay, now with that, let's get started. The first order of business then would be to have a review. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the previous meeting?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll waive the reading of the minutes then, and I'll ask if anybody has any questions or comments or anything on those minutes.
No.
Okay, in that case, may I have a motion to vote on the approval?
I'll make a motion.
I second.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. Okay, now we're moving on to the agenda. First we'll look at continued business from previous meetings. So the first application there is 136 Highview Street.
Okay, Eva.
I can see your screen. Are you on, Eva?
Eva, you're muted.
I didn't see myself up there. Can you see my screen?
We can, yes.
Okay, so this is the same application other than the fact that we took the panels from the north roof and put over to the N array and made them all symmetrical so that we have 3 arrays going across the front of the Altamirano house to make it symmetrical from the front.
Which is what we had asked you to do.
That's exactly right. It's exactly what you had asked. He lost a little on production, but I skipped over that.
I think it'll look much more attractive and nice.
I totally agree. We had thought that, because the house was so tall off the street that no one would really, pay attention. But it's perfectly fine, and we're excited to get them on the roof for him and help the town go greener.
Very good.
You have these plans. So if we can go ahead and move forward, we'd appreciate it.
Eva, I have a question.
Absolutely, Yvonne.
Looking at the floor plan, and by the way, yeah, it looks fine, very nice. And at the top, I noticed that those 9 panels are a little bit shifted if you compare it to the ones down below. The one I'm saying at the top of the drawing. Is there a reason for that?
I'm trying to figure out where you're talking about.
Okay. We're looking at the floor plan, PD, yeah, where you have your cursor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go up, the upper, yeah, those.
Okay, that's 6.
Yeah, there's 6, I'm sorry.
Yes, okay.
Yes. They are a little bit shifted towards the front in comparison to the other ones.
That's a very good question. And the reason is that we have a fire code setback. If you see that this is a blue bar going across, obviously, when we are putting these panels in, we are going to make sure that they're going to be the first order of business is to make sure that we are following the fire code for the town, right? Once that has been achieved, then we're going to shift them to make sure that they are all equal from the front of the house.
Oh, okay.
So
that's what I wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, no, this is
like it's
while it's a rendering that's pretty accurate, and we're going to try and get to this plan perfectly. It's not 100% on this piece of paper, if you get what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. So in actuality, what's going to really probably happen is that the second array where I have my cursor will probably come down further, and this one will come down a little bit further.
Okay.
We would want to have,
right.
We would want to have more access for the fire department.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the audience, Barbara?
No hands raised.
All right. Motion to vote. Larry?
I second.
And Yvonne, okay. Andrew?
I vote in favor.
Okay, Yvonne?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
And me too. And Eva, thank you for accommodating our request. Appreciate it.
No, thank you for seeing us, and the Altamiranos will be very happy to get moving.
Okay.
Thank you.
You enjoy your evening and be safe.
You as well. Thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to new business. And the first application is 1100 East Boston Post Road.
Eva is still sharing her screen. We need her.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't notice she was still on. Yeah. Eva, you need to.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Probably just left.
All right. Who's here for the Wells Fargo signs? Raise your hand, please.
A lot of people here. All right, Paula.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Can you see the screen now?
We can, but there's nothing on it. It's just a white blank.
Uh, what about now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. So we have a couple of different, this is the first wall sign on the front of the building. It's gonna be illuminated, channel letters. That's halo channel letters, illuminated from the back. That's the first one. Then we have this on the side of the building. It's also halo illuminated channel letters.
Okay, the yellow arrow is just to point to it. It's not part of the sign, right?
No, no, no.
Okay.
It's only the Wells Fargo letters.
Okay.
The next one, it's gonna be under canopy, double-sided, a double-sided sign. And it's gonna be also illuminated right under the yellow arrow. And that's all we have on the application. So it's 3 signs.
Okay, it looks like there's some kind of something on the door there and something on the ATM, stuff like that.
That's just a vinyl. It's a vinyl.
Mm.
On the glass, apply it to the glass.
Applied to the glass, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Those still are, part of the application, I assume.
Yes.
And can I go down a little bit to the canopy?
You want to see the under canopy sign?
No, I wanted to see the awning. Down at the bottom, there was an awning. Right? Maybe it wasn't an awning. Okay, there's a hanging sign there. Yeah, on the left there. What's
an awning over the window? There is. I see, right?
That is the same hanging sign. We call it under canopy. You know where the person is, right above?
Yeah, that's the sign. There's no sign on the canopy, though. It's just the red bar, huh?
Yeah, we are not permitting the awning It's just the 3 signs.
Oh, so just the 3 signs, nothing
Yeah.
else? Well,
Yes,
Okay. No
well,
awning then.
not the awning. We're not fabricating the awning, actually.
Okay.
okay.
Yes.
But you are fabricating these vinyl things and you want them
Yes,
to,
yes.
well, yes.
So these 2 signs on the front, the hanging sign and the one on the wall, and then the tiny sign on the side.
Okay.
That is just Wells Fargo.
Okay. Now, all right. So how high are the letters there? I don't see that called out.
I think
Maybe she can make it a little bigger.
Can you zoom in there, Paula?
Yes, let me see if I can. Here we go.
Okay. Okay, zoom in there. That's good. With the little plus sign up on the top, I think. Yeah. Still can't read it though. Maybe you can read it since you have it in front of me. How tall are how tall are the letters?
The letters are,
It says it there on the sign, but I can't read it.
Oh, yeah.
it's 1 foot 2 inches. So it's 14 inches high.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
And go to the left a bit.
The left.
Yeah. Oh, I was wondering, yeah, so I can see I want to see how tall the sign was. 2'6". Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And could you go down similarly to the ones on the sign on the side?
Yes. So it's this one.
Those are
That
7.
one is 7 inches high.
Okay. All right. And maybe just a quick shot of the canopy one. Okay.
Can you see that one? That is 1 foot 4 inches high, the sign.
Right.
Yes.
So the letters are less. That's fine. I just wanted to see what it looked like better.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that's hanging down from the canopy from CVS?
No, no, no. This is actually in front of the bank of Wells Fargo. Oh, let me see.
No, but doesn't that canopy go all the way
Yes,
across the building?
I'm sorry. Yes, you are correct. The canopy starts on like at the CVS place. So it's right in the beginning of that canopy.
So maybe show the front of the building then again.
Because it doesn't really show
Okay.
this space in relationship to CVS.
Yes,
But
yes. Let me go back.
I don't know if there's a picture of the whole thing.
So you see here, I'm gonna zoom in.
Yeah, yeah.
Like right in front of the ATM.
Mm-hmm.
You see there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You don't have a picture of the whole thing, the whole complex, do you?
I do have a picture.
Okay.
I just have to look for it.
Okay.
But right now it's under construction.
Right. But I just wanted to see kind of how the whole thing looks together. That's all.
Okay, let me see.
You want me just to share my Google Street of it?
I have it here. I have it right here.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Mhm.
Well, that's the canopy over the store.
Let me see. I have a better one here.
Have that one right there. Yeah.
Okay, and can you with your cursor just point to where the canopy sign will go?
It's gonna be like around here.
That corner.
Yes. You see that black thing? I don't know what it is underneath.
It's a light.
Probably
It's a
light.
light. It's gonna go around there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be in front of CVS. It has to be right here, around here. Because the ATM is gonna be around this wall.
Okay. Okay.
Is that good? Or you need another one?
No,
This is
that
what
was good for reference.
this is what they have now. Look,
Mhm.
they actually have another canopy here. Yeah, but it should go around here.
Yeah, you can see the lights on there.
Mhm.
All right, that's good. Thank you.
They're changing the facade, as you see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any questions from the board?
And then there's the accessory sign. It's in yellow on the east facade, correct?
There is no yellow sign. It's only red and white. It's gonna be around here. And the other one is
Okay, I'm sorry, no yellow. No, I saw the yellow arrow.
Yeah.
yellow arrow. Yes, that's only to show.
Yeah, it's white.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. On the east elevation, right? There's a small sign. Okay.
Yeah.
The small sign is going, you see this window on the side of the building?
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
next,
Right.
like around there. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Any other questions?
No,
How about from the audience, Barbara?
No hands raised.
All right. Motions to vote.
on motion.
Second, anyone? Larry?
Good.
Okay. Andrew?
I vote yes for the signs and no for the bank.
You want to have
The last thing that corner needs is another bank.
Yeah, I like the vegetables myself, but they,
Yes. Anyway,
yeah.
the last thing that corner needs is
I think that's probably planning and zoning more than us.
yeah.
Okay, Yvonne.
Disappointed now to know that's going to be a bank, but that's not the purview of this committee.
Right.
Okay. Yvonne.
I said yes, yes.
Okay, and Larry.
Yes.
And I'm fine as well. Okay. Thank you, Eva. You're good to go then.
Is this approved?
It is approved, yes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Have a good night.
You as well.
Are we allowed to ask for people to put their screens on?
What do you mean by put their screens on?
So we can see their face?
Right.
I'm not putting mine on.
Yeah, but we know that already, Dennis. But I'm just saying, people who are presenting, we would normally see them in person at
Yes,
City Hall.
there you
There
go.
we go. That's Paula.
I'm sorry. I was so
Okay.
worried about sharing the screen that I didn't want to see you guys. I mean,
Okay.
you
Nice
see my faces.
nice to meet you, Paula.
Nice to meet you
Okay.
too.
All right.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night. Thank you. Okay. So next on the agenda is 621 2nd Street. I should probably turn off my camera just for everybody else's benefit.
Hello. Oh, can you see my? Hello.
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 Good evening. My name's Emily. I'm here with SunPower. We are here tonight because we're looking to install a 6.09 kilowatt grid-tied roof-mounted solar system at 621 2nd Street. We will be installing a total of 14 solar panels that are 435 watts each, as well as 16 inverters that are located under the solar panels with the conduit running off the roof. Do you need me to share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So here's the plan for the home.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I think
Can
probably
you tell us where the front of the house is?
Oh, yes, this is the front of the home right here.
Okay.
I think it'd probably be helpful if you have some pictures.
I do. Here's the home. Here's from the front of the home from the street.
Oh, we can't see. We can only see the roof.
Plan.
Oh, you need it. Can you see it?
No, just roof plan.
No. Sorry.
You may have to exit this one and go on.
Yeah. I apologize.
This thing is just to share your desktop.
If you share the whole desktop, then you can click from one to the other. But if you share just one bit at a time,
Oh, so sorry. I don't know how to do that.
no problem.
Just share the one that looks like you.
Oh, okay. Okay, do you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay.
So this is the street view of the front of the home. It's this one here.
Mm-hmm.
The beige. The beige.
Yes, the middle one.
And with your cursor, can you point to which parts of the roof from the front that the panels are on?
Well, there's some on this side and as well as on this side. But again, because the home is so high, you can't see it from the front of the home.
Right.
I do have rendering photos. These are without the renderings.
Okay.
This is I just wanted to show you the home across. They also have solar panels. This is an aerial view of the home with the panels. And then this is the rendering. Oops, sorry.
Right. Okay, good.
That's one side. And then here is the other side.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
Emily, is it, why is it that you could not consolidate the panels a little bit more? In particular, when you look at the that panel we're just looking at, and that in the
on roof one? Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be possible maybe to move it just to mirror the other?
Maybe you could go back to the plan.
Side. Yeah, maybe it's easier to take a look at the plan.
Sure. So
see, it's a question. Okay, why? I mean, like the left, those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those 8 panels are fine. And on the other side, you only show 2, and then you have 4 more in the back.
Right.
So my question is,
those are on a lower roof.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Well, at least I'm saying, would it be possible to push those 2 panels in the front to line up with the other one? And
I'm sorry, to move them further down here?
Further to the left? No, to
this way?
The others. No. Push that.
I think you got the fire access.
Yeah, we have fire sets here, and then she also has these 2 structures are here, which is why we can't.
Oh, so the fire access cannot be moved anywhere else. Is that what it needs to be?
Correct. We need these setbacks here as a requirement for the fire department. Yeah.
On the plus side, you can't see both sides at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think I'm okay too. Any, yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I think it's, and they're up high. Are there any other board questions though? Anybody else comments? Mary? Anything? Okay, how about the audience, Barbara?
No hands raised.
Okay. Motion to vote?
A motion.
Second.
30 seconds. Okay, Yvonne?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
And I'm fine as well. Okay, very good.
Thank you so much. Have
Thank
a good
you.
night. Thank you. I
You as
appreciate
well.
it.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so next up is 811 Lorena Street.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Daniel Vitro. I am with DMV Equity. We're a SunPower dealer, and we are proposing to install 24 360-watt modules for ENC Properties, LLC. And I just wanted to first just address a few concerns that we had from the public regarding our panels. Can you guys see my screen right now?
No.
No?
Okay.
Let me see here. All right, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
All right, so just regarding any sort of toxic materials in the panels, SunPower is taking a lot of steps to making sure that the equipment that they have is has no toxic components whatsoever. We've taken steps to ensure that no components in our products are harmful to humans or the environment, analyzing every chemical down to 100 parts per million. SunPower panels have undergone independent third-party toxicity testing for hazardous materials. Our products have been measured against strict standards to eliminate health risks like cancer, birth defects, genetic damage, or reproductive harm. We also work closely with our suppliers to ensure that our supply chain is responsibly sourced and produced. This makes manufacturing and recycling our panels safe for people and the environment. So I just wanted to get that, put that out there first. Also, I wanted to mention that with this particular installation, we do plan on adding snow guards so that if accumulation of snow goes on the panels, once it slides off, it'll be broken up by the snow guards. So I just wanted to put those two things out first to make sure that that is 100% understood with this installation. So just coming back to the install, this here is the plans. We have 24 panels here, symmetrical. Lorena Street is the front of the house over here. So this is on the back of the house. This here is Wagner Avenue. I have some pictures, some aerial views. This is how the panels would look from an aerial view. This is the front of the house here. So no panels in the front. This here is the side of the house. The panels would be on this side. And this is basically how it would look from the street. You really wouldn't be able to see it. Plus we'll have these snow guards up here. So any snow that could accumulate would be broken up before it came down.
Of course, if you go further down the street, you can see them.
You can actually see it from across the street, from where that picture is being taken. You'll see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just go to the other side of the street, you'll see it.
I recognize you took the picture to show your installation to the best light, but we know what it looks like.
Right,
well,
but
it's a symmetrical array.
No.
I know that's important to you guys, so.
No, is it symmetrical? Could you show the plan? I have a couple of questions on that, actually. I mean, it's not symmetrical on the plan.
well, I mean, that's
Well,
as symmetrical as you can get. They have to have some.
I know.
You have to
But
have
it was
fire access
100%
pathways.
symmetrical on the other.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out it's not symmetrical. But I did have a question. I haven't been out there to see it, since your application, but I did look at it on Google, and it looks like there's skylights on that roof. What are your plans for the skylights?
So the roof is planning on being replaced before we do the installation, and the skylights are going to be taken out of there.
I see. Okay.
and what's the setback there from the driveway?
So you have a three-foot fire access pathway here, 3-foot fire access.
No, my question is because on that view, the other view of the entire house and the other next door property.
So setback with the next door property.
Right, because there was the question of the snow coming off. There's a site plan view.
Let's see here. Let me go ahead and pull
Like
up.
that view right there.
Yes. So yeah, we'd have the snow guards over here. So any snow that came off would be broken up before it would come down.
Right, but you don't know this. You don't know the setback.
I don't know the exact distance between the property line. It's probably 3 feet, 4 feet.
Yeah, it's not current code. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's more than that. It looks like from where the edge of the high roof is to the property line is
maybe 5 feet. Maybe it's 6. I don't know.
It could be 5 or 6 feet. It looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at those chairs.
So Chair, Board, this is Assistant Building Inspector Dennis Drogan. Hope all is well. So yeah, it's a pre-existing non-conforming structure. There's about 3 feet and change from that rear of the home to the property line to the driveway.
Where that, are you talking about where the thing sticks out there?
Correct. Yeah. So it is a really high roof. If you remember, we came across the situation at 163 Highview about 1.5 years ago. The neighbor had some concerns about snow coming from the roof. This roof is sloped further. I'd like to see a detail of the snow guards, and I have a concern for how close this many solar panels are versus the snow guards on that angle, on that pitch of a roof. So at the time of the submission to the building department, I will need all that information. Other neighbors in that area have concerns about reflection as well. The house right next door is a concern for me, the people across the way. If you look back at the side elevation, what can you tell me about the reflection, speaking as myself, as the reflection, how will it dissipate or contrast the light to affect somebody's siding, fading the inside of their house if they have older windows? Do you have any information on the solar panels for reflection?
Sure. I mean, they use anti-reflective glass for the panels themselves to absorb the light. And, it is, they're not like mirrors.
Yeah, as a general rule, I think, Dennis, solar panels are designed to absorb, not reflect light.
Right, they're non-reflective.
Yeah.
Yep, it's an anti-reflective glass that's coated in the panels.
I'm aware, it's for the record.
Okay.
The other thing I'd say, Dennis, is although that thing that juts out is 3 feet from the driveway, it looks to me like the roof that the panels are on is set back at least 4 more feet from that.
So if you look at the fence on the left-hand side, or where the floating hand is over there, there's a slight circle. That's actually the fence line for the property.
Right.
And the one structure, that side structure, I believe it's an entryway.
Yeah.
That's right on the property line, pretty much. So, you know, whatever the distance of that is.
So that's the property line, not where the driveway is.
Yeah. So if you see those hedges, you know, the hedges on the left, and then you come straight across right there, it's right on the line. So, you know, the distance from the panel, the end of the panel to the roof is a concern, and the slope of the roof.
I got it.
What would be the trajectory? So in 163 high view, you know, we had concerns about the distance that the snow would fall off of that roof based on the usage of the side. On that side, there were no paths. There was a rock side. It was a rock outcropping. Nobody would walk through there. In this situation, there's a driveway. That's a concern.
Yeah, I guess I was not aware of where the property line was. It seemed to me that it's a good distance from the panels to the driveway, but I don't know if people walk between that driveway and the property line.
So can I ask a question or make a suggestion? The combination,
sure.
Which is, can we divide up whether there's a safety issue which would challenge the project, not from an architectural standpoint versus the architectural standpoint?
In other words, Dennis, he's saying that if we feel that this meets the criteria under our purview, which is not harming the, you know, the neighborhood, you know, community, you know what I mean, and versus
understood.
But obviously it has to be safe. So I think Andrew's saying, can we vote on it subject to it? You're confirming that there is not a safety issue with the snow slide.
Right.
So there are a couple people that cannot speak during the meeting because of reasons. They're not politically involved, nothing like that. They don't have the ability to speak. So they stress their concerns to the building department. And now that I'm looking at this, you know, with the steep roof and the comparison to the other properties that have gotten solar before, my opinion would be not to vote on this until I can have a conversation with the solar company, you know, off the table. And, you know, we can talk about the distance, the drop, the fall, the snow accumulation, what those snow guards can hold, just in case they need to move some of those solar panels to the front of the house.
Okay.
So not to waste the board's time and energy, but I think, you know, if we just table it, that would be, I think that would be better for everybody. And we have 18 days to come back. So, I mean, it's not that much of a delay.
No.
You know, in the grand scheme of things versus, you know, being approved, then it going to my file, sitting, waiting, it comes up, I look at it now, you know, 2 months later, month and a half later, it finally comes back to me. So I think I'd rather handle it this way, if you don't mind. But, you know, it's ultimately the board's decision if they choose to vote on it the way it's standing, or if there are any changes, it would have to come back to the board in at a prolonged time period.
Fair enough. Okay, can you, I'm sorry, I forgot the presenter's name. Daniel, do you have a picture of the front of the house?
Sure. Give me one moment here.
By the front of the house, I guess I meant the.
You mean the back of the house?
I meant the left side. On the right side, the side that's on. Yeah, that shows the pitch of the roof. Okay, I think I see. Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. Well, that gives a better feel of what's going on than relative to Dennis's comments. It wasn't so clear from the plan. All right. Okay, well, I guess I don't know how everybody else feels. We can talk about it. My inclination is to, let go with Dennis's request that we have some questions which may affect how the layout, and so maybe it's worth a 2-week pause just to get that straightened out. It's not, I don't think, a significant delay. Is that okay with you, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, if we, want to make sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, making sure that this is safe. I know with the snow guards, I mean, there's 2 types of snow guards we can use for this to double up if we have to, which is it's not gonna cause an issue. And plus, with the steeper pitch of this roof, it's less likely that the snow will accumulate. It would probably slide off a lot quicker than with a lower pitched roof where it will accumulate and slide off all at once. So actually the pitch of the roof increases the likelihood of less accumulation of snow just based upon the pitch itself.
Okay. I'm just going to submit that that's the discussion with Dennis, and we like that shouldn't influence us at all. Mm-hmm. And I make a motion, we just go with Dennis.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. If I think that we'll ask you to just get it straightened out, and not, I don't think it's because we have particular objections to it, but if it's found that there are some things that have to be changed, you'd have to come back to us anyway. So might as well not do 2 trips through.
Well, pending a safety issue, like if that's not an issue, is this acceptable, as an array if there was if this issue wasn't present?
Well, we're not actually voting on it, but I think the sense probably is that it's pretty straightforward,
Okay.
But I mean, without us voting, you can't say for sure.
Yep.
But I think I don't know what anybody else has any comments, but I think it looks probably fine.
Okay.
Yvonne, I guess you're muted.
Am I muted? No. What's voice? Sorry. No, I think the layout looks okay, but of course, yeah, I support the motion to postpone and to check, on safety and what Dennis is proposing.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then we will defer that one or adjourn until the next meeting.
Yeah.
Barbara, when will he need to resolve it and get it to you to be on the agenda for the next meeting?
If he has to make any changes, I need everything before Memorial Day.
Okay. And I mean, how can I get in contact? How do I get in contact with Dennis regarding, working out this issue?
Dennis?
So all my information's on the Village of Mamaroneck website. I'm under click on the building department contacts, and my name will pop up, Dennis Drogan, and then we can review all of everything we spoke about.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Email and my office line is there. So whichever you prefer, I'll be in the office tomorrow, 9:30. If you want to give me a shout then from like 9:30 to 10:30, I'll definitely be in my location there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
The next door neighbor or the rear neighbor, the woman who sent the email has her hand raised.
Okay.
All right, Gloria, I'm going to bring you in. Gloria, you're muted.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. I want to thank Dennis for his words just now.
I just want to make sure that everyone on the board received my letter today.
I haven't seen it yet, but I will.
All right. Yes.
I was
You
traveling.
did receive it? Because in it, it states that the difference is 2.7 feet, not 3 feet, not 4 feet. There's only 2.7 feet between that structure and my.
Yeah, well, I think the
12
overriding issue is there a safety issue with
Yes.
the snow sliding off and possibly injuring person or property in doing so. And I think that Dennis is better qualified than we all are to assess that. So
I appreciate that. Thank you. I also just want to state, which I do hope that you do read my letter, that the difference between my house and the end of their house is 10 feet, which means those 10 feet are directly in the path of my backyard and where my grandchildren play, where my family gathers, and so on. So I appreciate you looking at the letter. I appreciate you reviewing this carefully. You know, my concerns are health, safety, and the welfare of my family and my quality of life. I've lived here for our family for 100 years. My name is Gloria Fava DeBetta, for those of you who know the Favas. So again, I appreciate it.
Okay.
And again, thank you to Dennis.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you for your.
All righty. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, then.
How do I get out? I'll leave.
All right. So next one up is 716 Orienta Avenue.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just trying to turn on my camera here.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Jim Olimpieri. I'm from Con Edison Solutions, and we're here proposing a solar system at 716 Orienta Avenue. The system includes 73 400-watt panels, solar edge inverter, two solar edge inverters, excuse me, with DC optimizers. Big house, big system, a lot going on here. So we're interested in your feedback for sure. This is, and you can feel free to stop me at any of these plan set pages. This is just an overview rendering. These orange lines are internal conduit, so these aren't running on the roof or anything like that. Like I said, multiple roofs here. And each one has a breakout. I think probably the best discussion slide would be the fire access layout. Looks like this, a little crazy, but when you have a lot of roofs and a lot of panels, this is what happens. So here's the front of the home. It's a gambrel style roof, which causes all these, you know, funky little roof pitches and such. Did our best to try to keep things somewhat organized here, but like I said, the pitches kind of throw us for a loop a little bit. So here's the front of the roof, which Orienta Avenue is where my little cursor is. So this is looking this way onto this array or onto this home.
A quick question, just while we're looking at that picture in the front of the roof. The roof, it does have a gambrel in it. So it's like I've got a sort of a steeper pitch part and then a flatter part. Can you, with your cursor on the plan, show that line is not shown on the plan?
The gambrel line?
No, not on that roof, the other roof. Across the one that runs from upper left to lower right there. There's like those, I assume that those 9 there are on the flatter part and those.
Yes, yeah.
But I don't know what's happening on the, is that the same on the other side? Those 3 are on the flat part and the others?
No, there's no flat part there because there's dormers.
These 3, yeah.
No, the flat part.
Yeah.
The flat part is the roof goes down and then flat and then down again, I think, doesn't it?
You're talking about the 3 that are on this little portion?
No, that one doesn't there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a weird.
Those are all above the dormers, right?
Correct. Yeah, on this side, they're all above the dormers here. And then there's a little split off on this roof that has the 3. I'll go back to the plan. These 3.
Okay, so on the other, so it looked to me like it had do you have a picture of the left side of the house?
The opposite side? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I do have a good picture coming from this side.
I saw it there. 6908.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah,
I think that's the one, right?
Yeah.
You got good eyes, Andrew.
Sharp eye.
Yeah, you see, so that one has a flatter part, you know.
Correct. Yeah.
But the other side doesn't.
Yeah, the 9 would go here, and then there's that. Yeah, you're correct.
So the 9 are not very visible, but the others may be.
Correct.
On the other side, I guess they're all visible. Okay, thank you. So the house is not the same left and right.
No.
So just a couple of questions, if I may. That's a lot of solar panels. Are they looking to sell power to their neighbors?
No, I don't think the power will even get out of the house. I think there's a large usage here, so this will probably net them out. Probably not, maybe not fully, but yeah, I don't think they'll be selling any power.
I say that in jest only because 73 solar panels is way more than we've ever seen before in a plan, right? And the question is, why so many? The other question that comes into play is that this is a very beautiful and very visible house from the street. And that is a main thoroughfare of Orienta. And the question is, our purview is to somewhat maintain the aesthetic value of the neighborhood. And I think what's happening is that so many panels have been applied to the roof here in so many different directions that it becomes disorienting. And how do we work this through so that it becomes a bit more pleasing, but yet the client is still satisfied with what it is? So we're talking from our neighbor viewpoint and also from what the client is asking for.
Yeah, totally understand. Driving up and down Orienta Avenue is quite beautiful, actually. So
let's start, following Larry's point, start with the ones on the right side of that, those 3 weird ones there.
Yeah.
No, not those 3, the other.
Oh, these 3. Yeah. So the options here would be to flip orientation, to landscape. I think it's still, I don't think it'll ever be a box necessarily. Perfect 4 will fit here.
Well, I'm just wondering why they're hanging out like that. I guess I don't kind of understand.
I think this is here. I have a.
I think we need that picture
of it.
again.
There's a good. I think on that rendering it's a little too close. We have they're hanging. There's a 3-foot setback here, which is why they're not, they're a little up against this hip.
I see. And the other ones are on the hip.
This one, I think we do have room to keep these in portrait. It just ends up looking, you know, like a toothless smile a little bit.
Right.
The question is, how do we maintain something consistent through the front of the house? Right now, you are both portrait and in, you know,
landscape.
Yeah. Well, the thing that would clean it up immediately is to get rid of 4 panels, right, Larry? That's what, you know.
You're talking this one, this, and these 3.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be so overbearing.
It wouldn't be so
It's
umgepatcht.
it's very, very chaotic layout. I think it's not acceptable in my view, the way it is right now. So yeah, all the panels, you know, rotate in portrait or landscape, like Larry is saying.
Well, I don't mind the 9 on the left because they're on a relatively flat section of roof and not particularly visible and in a coherent block. Where it falls apart is on this side where they're just sort of haphazardly laid out. Particularly that one that makes it into an L there, which, you know, in comparison to the ones on the hip part, it really starts to get pretty messy. You can't see them on this plan, but, you know, the ones on the side.
We'd have to move them around a little bit, but if I can, so would it be, you know, more advantageous to keep everything in the same orientation?
Well, I don't think with the dormers there, you're going to get anywhere there because, like you said, it'll be a toothless smile. I think
over here,
what works is you have the one stripe all the way across. If you didn't have those 4 at all, then those are all pretty even, just one stripe that goes across up there. And the 9 on the left, you can't see. It's those other 4 that are kind of a mess.
Yeah, but even the you know, the ones on the right, they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertical, and then the 3 horizontal. That doesn't look good.
Pardon
me? So if you remove the 3 that were in landscape on the right, roof 7, and you remove that 1 L, those 4 panels, that would be, according to my calculation, 5.5% of the total capacity. Doesn't seem like an unreasonable thing to ask to not be there. Right, we're not taking down 30% of the power.
Right.
So,
and you may find a spot to put them on the back.
Now, another question. Go down, you know, the big front gable. Because of the orientation, it's in an angle. Aren't you getting kind of similar exposure if you use the other side of the bramble, whatever?
The gambrel roof over here.
Yeah, it's a question.
It's north facing. So in this.
Well, it's an angle, right? 45 degrees.
Yeah, but it's very north facing.
Yeah. So if you cut this, say you cut this, you know, this drawing here in half. The bottom half is, you know, facing south. The upper half is facing north. This is more north facing. So any of these roofs, you know, these are facing south, west. That we did opt for panels on the back. These aren't super high producing panels. You know, they're basically facing north.
Right.
You know, so the bang for, quote unquote, bang for the buck is a little low on these ones. Which probably we would look at, you know, taking these, to your point.
Those 4 are the ones that I find objectionable. I suppose you can't, and then you can't get one on that other hip either, which is too bad, but I guess that's okay.
Over here?
No, that's okay. Never mind.
Or over here.
Yeah, I see what's going on. Yeah, those 4 I find to be the most objectionable. I don't know how, this is me speaking though. There's 3 other people here.
Yeah, I think so.
4 or 3. Bill.
Any comments about this array as well?
You know, those on the side, I think, you know.
I will drop one.
So this is on. Well,
let me. Can we see where that is? I'm not kind of
back there.
Yeah, it's on this back extension.
Yeah, that's up so high, and I think that's less visible. I think the ones on the front are the ones that are of the most concern, I would say. That's me, but again, it's me. You know,
yeah, I agree.
It's not an easy house to lay on panels.
Well, not to get 73 panels. I mean, it wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
Right.
Chair, board, if I may, what about placing on the carport?
Well, I'll ask the applicant why not on the carport.
This, I'm sorry, I'll scroll in a little bit.
I'm not saying the structure is adequate for the solar panel, but has it been thought of?
No, because of that.
Yeah, that looks a little iffy there.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I think you could get, maybe you get two on the backboard.
Use it as the backboard. Yeah, it doesn't look like this carport is like super secured or weighed down.
Looks.
For the engineering, I don't think would line up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, not okay. To over.
So can I make a recommendation that, as we've done in the past, that we ask the designer to go back and see whether they can remove those 4 that we discussed and bring back?
I'm sorry, which are the 4 ones?
I don't know. Jim wants to show us the ones that I think Jim understands the ones we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I'll mark it up here. I don't know.
Well, could you tell me, because I don't know.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. This one.
Oh. This one, right?
Yeah. The basic idea being then when you look at it, there's one band that goes across the front and it's orderly and you don't have those other ones hanging out there.
And if you can move a couple of them to the back, then you're not losing 5.5. You might be losing 3% or 2%.
Understood.
Yeah. So could we ask you to take a look at that? I mean, it's a pretty visible, as Larry pointed out, the front of the house is pretty visible and pretty pronounced. And, you know, you got one shot at this, you know?
Yeah, understood.
Yeah.
Okay, so the plan of action would be to revise this plan set and send it back. Oh, who would I direct that to?
Okay.
Barbara.
Now, another question. How about the front, the Gramble, the one facing south that you have? Yeah, right there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can we do one more there so it doesn't look, you know?
That one doesn't bother me as much because the whole thing angles back like that. But that's again.
No, it's going to be very visible to me.
Yeah.
You would see it from the street, from the as you drive down.
You have that picture of that again?
Yeah, I do have an angle that shows.
And I want to add, it's not just driving by, that's the main thoroughfare. There are a lot of bikers and walkers on that street who are going to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very visible. Yeah,
that's not fully. This is at the end of their driveway, basically.
Yeah. And this is on the high part up there, right?
Yes, correct.
That bothers me personally less, Yvonne. You know, say.
Oh, I'm going to see that step.
Yeah.
I think it's not pleasing.
Yvonne, if you think appropriate to take it down by 1, so again, at least then it's 8 panels that are symmetrical instead of that 9th that sits out there. I think that's what you're asking about.
Yeah, right. So yeah, exactly.
Again, is there an ability to, and again, please understand, we're trying to clean this up visually so the neighbors walk by and bike by and they see it, and it's a positive thing, not like they try to cram every panel they could on the roof, which is what unfortunately it looks like now.
Understood.
I guess the thought would be to see what, do your best that you can with that without overly, messing up the grand scheme for the owner, and then come back and see what you got. And if it's the best you can do, we can vote on it. I mean, if people still are concerned, we may not vote in favor, but, we may, but that's the area, I guess, that we feel is most prominent and most needs. If you could clean that up, I think it would help a lot.
Okay.
Jim, another thing, again, could they line up at least, those panel, all those long ones now at the
I think the reason they don't line up is because to squeeze in those 3 landscape ones, you had to push them up. If you take those out, you should be able to line them up, right?
Yeah, correct. And they'll have 18 inches from this roof.
Okay.
So they'll all be basically 18 inches off.
Yeah, as long as they line up.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you see what we'd like to ask you to do is just to clean up the front, so it doesn't look disturbingly messy.
Understood.
Okay, very good.
Any neighbors?
No hands raised.
Good.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll be back in touch.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your sharing it with us. Okay, Barbara, 1228 Knickerbocker. I think you said there was maybe an issue with there not being a sign.
Yes. But I don't see anybody with the hand raised for it either.
Okay.
Or maybe they just didn't show up.
Could be. Okay, so if they aren't here and they didn't have a sign up anyway, I'm going to propose that we adjourn that one as well. Which I guess brings us to 1311 Franklin Avenue, which is mercifully not solar panels.
That introduction, that is refreshing even for a casual observer. That's a lot of work for solar panels. So, thank you all for your hard work protecting our environment, and it's incredible. Well, hopefully this is a little diversion. It's a project you guys saw, I think, about a month or 2 ago. It's a continuation of an open permit. This is a very tiny addition in a portion of the property that was viable for a garage with a very tiny little nursery on the 2nd floor. So a nice way to get some cars off the street and make the house a little bit more practical for a young family.
Now you're aware you're not sharing your screen, right?
Okay, so I'm going to do a share screen. Sorry about that. Are you able to see that, committee?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. I apologize. I will go back, if you don't mind, and just show you a quick context with the neighborhood. I apologize for this email. This is the house, a very charming little street. The driveway would be just behind this white car. We're nestling this tiny little structure to the left of this beautiful building. The committee was gracious enough to give us a permit. As I said previously, this little add-on was converted and approved by your committee with a second floor, which is basically extending the gambrel. And the new little addition is going in this pocket to create a garage here and a second story that links to the building. Not really too much of an impact. The neighbor on the right, the neighbors across the street, the neighbor on the left. It's a nicely wooded neighborhood, and so we think it's appropriate. Again, to the plans. This is the previously approved addition on the second floor and the renovation of the first floor. This is the new structure, the new driveway. Again, this is the previously approved portion. This is the new second floor nursery and the footprint of the new garage. This is the elevation of the new garage, this small portion here. This is the elevation of the new structure from the left neighbor looking. So this would be the new portion that my cursor is showing you. Not very much visible from the right, if at all.
It's a little hard to tell what's the new part and what's the previously.
Yeah, the new part is right here. I'll give it to you with my cursor. This is the rear of the garage, the second floor, and the gambrel. This is the garage. And this is the second floor of the garage.
Okay.
And this is the garage. This is the front door of the garage. And this little portion is the second floor of the garage.
Okay, so on the left elevation there, all that stuff to the left is the previously approved part.
Yes, this is what you had reviewed last time.
Okay.
And if I may just go back on plan, and I should have highlighted this to you, and I apologize, I did not distinguish between this current presentation and what we had shown you last time. So Mr. Cohen knows my office. They're going to get a little bit of a slap on the wrist tomorrow, but too late for tonight, so I apologize.
Okay.
This is the second floor with the nursery, and this is the first floor with the garage.
Okay.
And the roof on that front elevation, though, of that, the roof for the new section, though, ties all the way back to the old part of the house.
That is correct. It's in a long, it's effectively a very long gambrel dormer. Yes.
Right. Right. So
I mean, sorry.
No, go ahead. And I'm just saying is because it looks confusing because it looks like it's more than that, but I guess it's really just the part over the garage, like one window, two windows.
It's the two windows are above the garage.
Yeah, and then but then the roof continues back to the.
Yes, it meets the gambrel further.
Maybe head back up to that second floor plan again. Yeah.
Yes.
There. So there's this the second window is not in the nursery. It's in something else there. The dining.
That's actually, you know what? Forgive me 1 second. That's actually a mistake. That window is right here.
Yeah.
There's a little amendment to this little bedroom. We found enough to give a little nook to this bedroom. Can I zoom in on my end and give that larger to you?
Yeah.
Does that help? Yeah.
Okay.
We
So
amended this little bedroom with that second window.
So there is a little bit more of it. You're also expanding a little bit out from that.
Yeah, we found a little tiny bit of FAR. The bedrooms were so tight. It's just really very tight.
Okay, so that's what Andrew was getting
Yeah.
at. That it didn't.
Right.
It looks small in the plan, but it actually.
Yeah.
Can you just show where the existing wall is of the second story?
Yes, right here.
It goes all the way back there, and then it jogs to the left, right where the closet is.
Well, I'm just going to scroll. The original house before the rear addition, previously approved,
right,
was effectively here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we expanded the second floor to create a viable master bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And now today we're taking from this corner and we're pushing this space on the second floor.
Understood. Okay.
As well as this little space here.
And you had a roof plan there before, didn't you? Can I see that again?
I do not, and I should, and I don't, and I apologize.
Okay, that would be helpful.
It would be.
Yeah. I mean, I think I understand it now. It's just,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
confusing what happens there where that closet is.
Yes.
Go back up to the second floor plan where you see where the closet the closet's part of the previously approved already addition, right? If you weren't doing this, if we didn't approve this, closet would still be there, right?
Yes.
Okay, although perhaps oriented differently, but it would still be there.
And there was a little closet bathroom here as well that shifted around.
Okay,
so it's extremely tight, yes.
But, yeah, so what's funny is that this thing goes back, but on the, I'll call it the bottom part because I don't know what the orientation is, it goes back further than it does on the top part.
I'm not sure that I follow that line of questioning, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, if the dark colored walls.
Yes.
With the one with the 2 windows goes back all the way to the existing house. And the other one goes back less far because
we carved footage out of this pre-existing bedroom to create this hallway to the nursery.
I understand all of the plan. I'm just saying that the roof of the new addition is on the one side goes back, and I assume where's the center line of the roof?
I'll show you the elevation. It's the center line of the gable. I'll go back to the elevation. Sorry. Here it is.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So this is a dormer, extended gambrel dormer, which is dying into the pre-existing main gambrel. And to your point, it does intersect in this corner with a portion of the previously approved expanded new gambrel.
Yeah, so you got a whole complicated little roof thing going on there.
Yes, and I'd be happy to provide a roof plan to the committee.
Yeah. No, I don't know that it's, I was just mostly trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's not the front of the house.
Yes. Also, almost impossible to see because of the elevations. But functionally, and I think for a young family, it's appreciated because they're out there parked on the street now.
Yeah.
So, and we do have a slide for you with materials. We are, really kind of upgrading the house and doing a nice job with materials. To the owner's credit, he's a very good craftsman and going to be using some very nice materials.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think we should not vote on this until we see the solar panel plan. I'm sorry. We can have the same thing.
We're going geothermal instead. How about that?
I didn't see that coming, Larry.
It's going to be complicated for this house too. Look at the roof.
Yeah.
No, can't happen on a gambrel.
Yeah.
Gambrels are complicated.
Well, yeah. Well, apparently others can put them on with gambrels. Let's do it. Anyhow, okay. This looks very pretty. Yes, I agree. Okay. Are there any other questions or comments from the board?
No, I think it works very well with the the whole feeling of the house. It maintains it and gives this family more square footage. I'm sure they need it.
Yeah. And I didn't check all the FAR and stuff and all, but I assume that's all good.
Yes,
it's tight, but it's right there.
We did confirm that very carefully with the building department.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. So if there's no more questions from the board, how about from the audience, Barbara?
No hands raised.
All right. Motion to vote.
I motion.
A second.
Okay. And just to be clear, Larry, we're voting without solar panels. Okay.
Come back to haunt us.
How about a wind turbine? Can I come back with that? A nice big wind turbine?
Okay. So anyway, Larry.
Yes, Richard, nice design, by the way. Thank
you so much again for all of your help, everyone.
I vote yes.
And Andrew, you're good?
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm good as well. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great evening. Enjoy those solar panels.
Okay, you're kicking a dead horse there, Larry.
I didn't say that one.
Good night. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I don't know how to leave the meeting. I'm sorry.
Unshare first.
Okay. Oh boy.
Should be at
I'm
the
gonna
bottom of
just
your screen to unshare.
I actually don't see myself anymore. Can you kick me off somehow?
I could try. I'm not an expert at this either.
Here, I think I can kick them off.
I would volunteer, but I don't have that power.
Okay, I'm going to stop my video.
Okay, I did it.
I got it.
How did you do that? You're pretty good. All right. Who's R? I guess he's gone.
That's Richard.
That was Richard. Okay. All right. So I guess we're up to 1037 Oaks Lane.
You guys hear me?
We can.
Yes.
I'm Angie from Dan Sherman Landscape Architects. We're representing our client at 1037 Oaks Lane. So I'm just going to share my screen with you guys here. Okay. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So we're proposing an in-ground swimming pool in the backyard, just right off an existing patio that they have already. It's going to be a 20 by 40 swimming pool with a thermal finish bluestone coping. We're proposing to add a little bit of patio on both sides of the pool, and it's going to match the existing bluestone patio that they have right now. This is just kind of like a little bit of a sample of the material. This is the existing patio that they have, and we're just going to extend it along both sides of the pool. This is just a general idea of what a pool in grass looks like for the most part. This is the back of the house. So the pool is going to be relatively in this location. You can kind of see it better here. This is the existing patio. These walls are going to be coming down to create the space for the pool. And then this is kind of just an overall look at the backyard, and the pool will be right around here. So that's pretty much it. It's kind of simple and just clean, and that's it.
Okay.
Is there any change to fencing?
No, so we are just going to be using chain link fence along the perimeter, and then the back has an existing retaining wall that's like a concrete stone wall, and that's not changing. But it's just, there's evergreen screening around the property that's like similar. So this is the kind of, you could see the concrete wall back here, but they have evergreen screening around the entire property, and we're just going to install a black chain link fence to meet the pool code. And then along the sides of the house, is going to be a black aluminum picket fence.
Picket fence?
Yeah, aluminum picket fence along both sides, like on this side and this side of the property, just to enclose it for the pool code.
Is that like the picture up there at the top left?
Yeah, right over here.
Yeah.
Okay. You saying it's metal?
Yeah, it's metal.
Metal, okay.
All right. Looks like a pool.
Yeah, it's a pool.
And in the back, and a little bit of fence, and not much. It's doesn't appear to be visible from much of anywhere.
No.
Okay. All right. Any comments or questions from the board?
No, it has that automatic cover.
Yes, it will have an automatic cover.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, and I assume that you've talked to the building department about the various code issues of, with windows and so forth.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. All right. Is there any audience questions, Barbara?
No hands raised.
All right. Well, I guess nobody has any questions. We might as well have a motion.
It's very hidden pool.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So materials.
Was either of that a motion?
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Very good.
Yvonne's,
Okay.
Yvonne's still too quiet.
Okay, you can make a motion, Yvonne. Just raise your hand.
Okay, where did Larry go?
He's down at the bottom there.
Okay. I second.
Okay, Larry?
Yes, but I do have one question. I'm assuming this is a heated pool,
Yes.
and where will that mechanism be placed?
The pool filter is right over here in the back of the property towards the rear. It's in this image, it's right around here.
Okay.
So it'll be hidden from all neighbors and everyone else.
So we'll see you in a year for the solar panels. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Yvonne?
Are you asking me if I vote?
Vote yes.
Yes, I vote yes.
Okay, and Andrew?
I vote yes.
And, okay, I'm good too. All right, very good then. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Okay, and that, I guess, who is the Isangmeister? Is that?
That individual was with the last property.
Okay. All right. So then we are at the 640 North Berry Avenue.
So just as an observation, meetings in person go more smoothly and faster.
Yes, we know that. We've been doing this for a long time before you got here, and
I know.
We're aware of that. We had one marathon that went on till like midnight. So.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Hans Chadek. I'm representing the address 640 North Berry Avenue. I'm gonna just share the screen with you guys. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, yes, you can.
So I will go to pictures first. This is a single family house. That's the house on the left, this yellow siding. At the front of the house. Again, front of the house. This is the back of the house. That's actually where we're doing addition. Again, the back of the house. If I go back to the plans, so we're doing, let me just zoom over here. This is the front of the house right now, and we're doing addition, second floor addition in the back of the house, and we're doing new deck, which is just basically 3 steps from the ground. We also renovating completely the exterior and some parts of the interior of the existing house. The elevations, so I will go to the front. So this is the front of the house. Right now, what we're doing is just residing the exterior, be moving this window to be symmetrical, because right now the existing window, it's right here. We're putting new railing. Right now there is a solid, basically solid siding. So we're putting new railing, and we're putting new sliding doors and a new door and small window over here. I can just maybe go back to the photo so you can see the difference.
Yeah, nice.
And in the back, we have this second floor addition. That's like set back. The back of the house, basically, that's the addition, the second floor addition right here. what we are doing, it's the kind of main shape of the house, which is basically this wing, and then a 90-degree or perpendicular to it. It's this gable. We have that with this. We have that basically with same siding. It's a white 4 inches siding, and then this small gable, which is like another wing coming out of it. It's again vinyl siding, but it's a different color, and it's a 8 inches exposure. So we try to like differentiate those two masses of the house. This is the right side of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So the second floor addition is basically over here. And then the left side of the house, this elevation. Again, the addition is right here. I have the materials for you.
Could you show, I think at the bottom of the plan, you have the existing house, right?
You
all the way at the bottom, isn't there the existing? It seemed to me when I looked at the plan.
Yes. I have a.
Can we just take a look at those a second?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. The front. Go back. I see. So you're taking the basically, like if you're looking at the back, you're taking the pitched portion of the above that small window right where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And the roof line there is going to go up symmetrically and then come back down the other side.
That's correct. It's going to go up like this and down like that.
Yes.
And then the small gable is coming out of that.
I understand.
It's
okay.
Right here.
Yeah.
So if I go back to the materials, we have a 4 inches exposure vinyl siding, white, and then that's basically the major part of the house. The small gable in the back that has a 8 inches exposure, and it's this gray color.
Oh, okay, so it's actual difference in color, not only the. I was wondering the facade closer, darker. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's basically
nice.
It's right here.
And
it's not just the. Yeah, and it's not just the face, the gable face. It's also the sides. So it's it's basically all that massing.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, and then we have a asphalt shingle, this gray roof.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the front, above the covered porch, we have a metal roof, standing seam, and it's a galvalume. It's basically kind of like this silver color. So that's that. And the windows gonna be actually black. Then we have the deck, which is in the back of the house, and that's gonna be composite. It's gonna be tracks, and it's 1x6 boards with this silver kind of color finish. That's the.
What are the railings?
Right. Thank you.
The railings, that's gonna be pressure treated, and it's gonna be painted to as close as we can go with this gray of the deck.
Okay.
And that's gonna be the same also the railing in the back with the exposed basically columns.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah. And we don't do any solar panels.
You've picked up on that. You cut Larry off at the knees there. You won't know what to say. Okay. Are there any questions from the board?
No, I think it looks nice.
Yeah, it does.
I love the two color volumes.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. Kind of like that level of interest to it. Yeah.
Gives a whole lot more interest and appeal to that house. So
I also like that it looks like the shutters will actually cover the windows as opposed to just being decorative things.
Yep.
So, okay, so any questions from the audience, Barbara?
No hands raised.
All right, a motion to vote?
Motion.
And a second? Larry, okay. Andrew?
I'll vote yes.
Yvonne?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Okay, very good. It looks nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and have a good night.
You as well.
Thank you. Good night.
And I guess that's a wrap for tonight then.
No,
No.
No?
we'll have a movie theater.
Oh, we have the movie theater. Right, right. I forgot the review of the marquee.
Gesundheit, Andy.
What's that?
I said Gesundheit.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, good evening. This is Ed Sangmeister with Seaman Network. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
Good.
And Robert McCall from JKRP Architects.
Okay. So that's who a Sangmeister was. It wasn't from the...
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why that showed up that way, but...
Although I happen to know that you're a Sangmeister too.
Yeah,
okay.
It's true.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming. And okay, I understand that you would just like our preliminary comments on what you're proposing for the marquee for the cinema.
Yeah,
that is correct.
Who is Jan Kadek?
That's the guy we just heard.
Okay, going away. Got it.
If I could, I think there was a little confusion in terms of, so we presented this to the Architectural Review Board this July, will be 4 years ago.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
It's when I presented my garage, which has been done for 2.5 years.
We have been working, strangely enough, in the building for the last, there were a lot of curveballs on this one. But so when we presented, I have the original presentation if you want to look at it. We presented the materials on the facade and all that kind of stuff. And it was specifically mentioned that obviously the signage has to come back and get approval because we just had a placeholder.
Right.
And so throughout the course of the project, refinishing the marquee itself, removing all the old reader boards and stuff and doing the new metal finish, we had always had in the scope of the contractor. And somewhere along the line, actually, it was sort of our faith in the contractor and the finish work, we removed the finishing of the marquee itself, not even talking about any signage right now. And we actually put it in Ed's scope because they can actually do a very finished product because we want the marquee to be that sort of metal finish as well as the underside and cleaning up all the top. Ed's company does much more than just channel letters. We've used them a lot. They do really architectural constructions. And our goal is to, believe it or not, open in the next like 3 or 4 weeks. And so we've been pushing Ed to say, we know you're hung up with the signage, but please finish the canopy because we don't want that big metal thing to be there on opening night. And I think when Ed issued his signage package, it was reviewed as basically a completely new element. And one of the comments was you're not allowed to do a marquee. And I guess the big picture is our goal for tonight is to sort of separate the idea of refinishing the marquee, which is architectural, and the contractor would have already done it, but Ed included it in his signage package, and now it's being reviewed. And it's quite nice. He'll share it as well, but it's being reviewed under the signage. And I don't know what the time frame is for the review of the signage itself, but our goal is to be allowed to just finish the marquee.
Okay, I'm not sure I quite followed that.
Maybe we
Are you talking about the marquee as like with just an architectural element that's part of the building?
Yes, yes. Like
and that was already on what we had approved before the marquee?
The marquee was on, and the finishes and the soffit underneath was all part of the original approval.
I mean, that was already there even, in fact. That's not new, right? That was part of the original building.
Correct, and we had it in the scope of the general contractor to refinish it, do a new fascia, just like we're doing new storefront.
So you're just refinishing it. It's something that was already there. You're renovating it, and it's not a new thing.
Correct.
Okay.
And Dennis is online. Dennis and I had a conversation about this as well. So just the architectural refinishing of it got lumped in with the signage approval. And I guess there was some confusion. Is it considered an overall signage approval, which, you know, we'll be happy to install it without the signage on it. But, and I don't know what Ed's schedule is going back through here to get the signage approval.
Well, this is being a movie theater, doesn't the signage change? Like 1 week it says Spider-Man No Way Home, and the next night
actually, can I share my original?
Can we have some visuals?
Yeah. Let me share my original.
Now I know the kind of movies Bill likes.
I actually watched that because for a funny reason, but it was horrible.
Right, so let's see here. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
That, of course, I have your agenda up. Let me see if this is going to actually let me.
We just saw something.
Oh, this is it. So this was the original, back. Yes. Oop. My blue beam just crashed. I apologize. And I agree with you. If I was there in person, these would be mounted on boards, so my computer wouldn't just die.
It's a lot of things that look like it could be it.
That's it, the original. Original.
Still in the meeting.
That's this. Oh, this is it. All right. So you've seen all this. And so the original thing that we presented was this. And then so when we presented, we were talking about the storefront. This is that new addition on the top.
Yeah, right.
We discussed this. And when we specifically talked about this, we have a section through it. We talked about how we're going to reface it with this metal and sort of keep it clean. And you all were very specific, saying the Playhouse Cinema and this reader board are not being discussed now. That has to come back at a later time.
Right.
So when Ed was about to basically install this, which includes the ceiling and ceiling around the roof, that was approved as a all new piece of signage, which we would like to not do the signage now because Ed still has to go through his approval for that, but we still want to finishing the marquee. The original, Mike just crashed. I'm glad you saw it before my computer crashed again.
Okay, so basically you're interested in doing this in 2 steps. The first step being the architectural element of let's call it the canopy part of the marquee.
Yes.
And the second part being the words that go on there and say cinema and so forth.
Yeah. And Ed has his presentation that he can share. Hopefully he has better luck with it than me about what it's going to look like, because he has the signage and everything on that, which we'd like your comments on as well.
Sure.
All right, Bob, I think I can share if you can unshare.
I am stumped.
There we go. So I think this is desktop 2. Let's see what it is. Mine is refusing to allow me to share. That's a new one.
Sometimes the host has to give you permission to share.
Everybody has had permission.
I have Ed's presentation. I will be happy to.
If you don't mind, I'm sorry. Yeah, there must be something with our IT that is preventing me for some reason.
All right, let me open Ed's presentation up.
So in the in-between here, this is Dennis. You guys know who I am. Everyone knows who I am. So yeah, there's no question about them facing the marquee and doing that. They're 100% go on there. I don't think there's no need for the board to even consider revoting on that. So that's established. So it's just the sign that they're addressing today.
Okay, so we're not, so you're okay then on doing the canopy. I was wondering, I wasn't quite sure what we were actually supposed to be looking at. So we're just, I guess, supposed to give a preliminary view of what we think of the signage. Is that what we're doing here?
Correct.
I'm not sure what we're doing.
Correct. So yeah, just preliminary sign. That's it. If you're comfortable with the sign, the way it stands, if you choose to vote on it, that's up to you and the board. And that's it. But yeah, as for the marquee, outside structure, everything is keeping to the original design. There's no changes. Maybe they used a slightly different shade of screw or bolt, but outside that, everything is in keeping with the natural plan of the structure.
Okay.
You can tell me when to go to the next slide.
All right, go ahead and go to the second page. And actually, if you go to page 3.
So it's.
So go to the next, so you can actually see what the original one looked like there before.
Is it going to be black? Yeah, black.
That is correct. Correct. So what we have here is we have the existing canopy. The structure that you see here would be the new marquee that would be installed on the steel structure that you still see on the building itself. The signage itself currently is to be the Mamaroneck cinemas will be internally illuminated and will have an amber type color. The 8 theaters and the rest of the signage, all luxury seating premier, that is actually on a panel that is non-illuminated that has been affixed or will be affixed to the front of the marquee.
So you're only proposing the illuminated part to be the words Mamaroneck Cinema and 8 theaters as you show it there.
Only the Mamaroneck cinemas will be illuminated.
Only
the number 8, correct. Everything below that will be non-illuminated.
Okay.
What does that mean regarding, is it digital that you'll see the name of the movies that are there, or?
So
one of the, when I'll hop in, so when I presented it originally, the idea of having that a digital reader board has been a placeholder because we would at some point plan on coming back because the owner likes that original old school look of the letters, but he doesn't want to pay people to change the letters every week. So Ed is designing a digital reader board that basically mimics that exact aesthetic. That would be fixed. You can never put ads on it. It's never animated or anything like that. So we were concerned about getting the sign up to be quite honest, in time for the building to open, that we said maybe we'll come back another day and present the digital reader board and see if you guys are okay with it.
So that's going to go where the 8 theaters is, all luxury seating?
That is correct.
Correct.
So that panel. So in the future, it would say Mamaroneck Cinemas, and then below that would have the names of the films, the way an old-fashioned movie house would be.
Right.
That would be correct.
Understood.
Yeah, like the ones in New York do. Yeah. Okay, so you just want us to comment on how this temporary signage looks. Is that what you want?
Correct. And Bob,
I guess if I had one comment on it, I think you got too many sizes of type there, which makes it look kind of messy. And it would maybe look nicer if you had less different, like 2 different sizes as opposed to 4 different sizes.
Understood, and that can be corrected.
Yeah.
Bob, would you mind going to the next page? And then you get more of a head-on shot here.
Yeah.
So then, correct. The 8 theaters, the all luxury seating, that would, again, be non-illuminated on a panel that, in theory, is temporary should we be allowed to go to a digital display, at which point we would be able to just show movies of what's
and I understand, and that's fine.
Okay.
But I guess we're just charged with commenting on what we see before us, even though it's not permanent. And I guess the 4 different typefaces I find to be a little bit messy looking, and it would be, I think, more attractive if 8 theaters and Mamaroneck Cinemas was one size and the other 2 things were a different size, you know, that kind of thing. I think it just looks, I don't know what other people think, but I find it looks a little messy.
And forgive me, but I'm misunderstanding. Where it says 8 theaters, is that where the name of the movies will be projected?
That is correct.
So I think what Bill is saying is that you're dealing with so many different typefaces and sizes, and then you're going to get very messy with all the names of the movies themselves.
Well, that would, the names of the movies would actually replace everything you see there.
Oh,
theater.
And they'd presumably be all the same size. All the movies would be the same
that is correct.
So we're just looking at this, and I think this could be cleaned up a little bit with less different typefaces and sizes.
So when will you have the all luxury seating and the Dolby, or that won't be seen?
Right.
That would no longer be seen once, should the digital display be approved. All that copy, and if you're looking at the square, see where it's a little bit of a darker black color, that perimeter right there?
Yes.
That piece would go away. And in its place would be the digital display.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want our comments on what's there temporarily for now, I would say just see if you can't clean that up a little bit. That's fine. That'd be my comment.
But
I'm good with that.
So
I think right now there's just too much going on. It's visually cluttered looking with all the.
But yeah, I know. But if that is going to go away, I mean,
I think we were concerned with the viability of it ever getting approved with a digital display. To be quite honest, especially in a downtown Main Street, digital displays, even if we're mimicking an old display, is a big pill for people to swallow. We probably should be presenting it tonight, but I think we were trying to present something that we can actually install and come back at a later date and really present it to you. Ed would probably have to show you real examples of the display and the brightness of it and all the other criteria.
Yeah.
I think that one of the issues that you're saying also is how often does it change? Is it something that's going to, like, every 3 seconds show another?
Usually they scroll.
When you say digital display, I think of what I see on a highway when I'm walking by and it's distracting when things change rapidly. You're suggesting it's here and it will change maybe weekly as the name. I think you need to qualify what you're saying in what that means.
Exactly.
We want to say that to you honestly, in a positive way.
So they'd be static and then they change from time to time?
They change when the
The ones I'm used to seeing in New York scroll.
Yeah,
That's the word, exactly.
Yeah,
correct, and that's not the intent.
No, the intent is for it to mimic a static display where people would go and put the letters up with a white background with the black letters. It's just that the owner doesn't want to have to change it and they leave the letters and all that kind of stuff. So
It's basically a monitor at that point, laying out all the movies and what theater they're playing in.
Okay. Can I ask a question? Excuse me.
Yes.
Since we don't see that, I don't really understand why we're talking about that as approving this, because we can't possibly approve what it looks like until we see it. So
I think what we're approving is this may be here for a while till they get around.
Okay, so why don't we just approve this? And because we, and then when they have an idea what it looks like, they come.
I'm just proposing that we approve this, but a little bit cleaned up. It looks
fine. That's what I'm saying. But as opposed to continuing to talk about something that we haven't seen anything about.
Right.
I'm just trying to move the meeting along.
Absolutely.
I can't comment at all about what you're talking about because I don't see it.
Well, I think it's interesting. So when it does come, we kind of know.
Okay, but then we'll talk about it then.
Well, I think we've covered it though. I think, and I think you're not wrong that we could move it along because I mean, right now what we're looking at, it took a while to understand what we were supposed to be approving, but I think it's that this sign, which might be here for a while till they get around to getting the other approved. And I guess there's the further concern if it's not approved to have the digital signage, that something along these lines might have to be approved with the movies. So it might be here for a while. So I guess just the simple thing is, yeah, it's fine. And the typeface is fine. The colors are fine. Everything is fine, except for that it's visually cluttered because there's too many sizes and typefaces, and clean it up. And I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I will be looking at that.
I agree.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Well, I'm really happy that you're going to be opening the movie theater. I can't wait.
We're all excited.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay. I hope that was.
Thank you very much.
Sorry,
we spent most of the meeting.
We confused the issue, but yeah.
Okay.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to end the, motion to adjourn. And you got that one right up there, quick. Okay. Second?
Second.
All right. Any opposed? Okay.
Yeah.
Barbara?
Let her stop recording.